Guys, get your questions ready. We're about to go live. Today we're going to talk about DLT inspections. We're going to talk about coolant leaks, why you shouldn't ignore coolant leaks. So get your questions ready. Go live today.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands, strong like a tree.
Hang in there, guys.
There's
We're about
roots where I stand.
to go live.
Oh, I've been running from the law.
Hey guys, this is Adam with TAT Express. We're going live at a later hour today. We went ahead and cut that intro a little bit shorter. Thanks for the feedback on one of our last lives. They thought we had the intro for too long. So usually we wait to see how many people are jumping on. So if you got any questions, make sure to hit us up on the chat. We did some good videos today. I don't know if you had a chance to check out the common issues on the ISX 15. That video is doing really well. We got a lot of comments on that. We got a lot of feedback. We're very excited about that video. Today we're in the shop shooting a few more videos. We're shooting a DLT inspection, how to do a DLT inspection. That was a request by a viewer. We appreciate all the support, guys. We appreciate all your recommendations on videos. Everything is in the pipeline. We're working hard to get all the content to you guys. So as I mentioned, we did DLT inspections today on how to go through a DLT inspection. What's up, guys? What's up the trucker? How you doing? What's up, Dustin? How you doing, guys? Thanks for joining us. If you guys got any questions, make sure to shout out to us. If you guys check out that last video, common issues on the ISX, we're going to be doing common issues kind of set up that same way with a diagram with DD15 and also D13 Volvo. So if you got any other recommendations, make sure to shout it out. So we were looking at DLT inspections. I did how to do a DLT inspection on your own. This is very important because this is what you're going to be, if you're crossing state lines, if you're at weigh stations, these are the type of inspections you're going to be receiving. So check that video out. It's going to be out later this week. We also shot a video on not ignoring coolant leaks. Okay, we had a truck come in that was towed into us, and this particular truck was losing coolant. And the customer said he had to fill the coolant bottle up a few times. He didn't see where it was coming from. Whenever you have an internal coolant leak, that's basically what that is. When you don't have the coolant leaking externally, and you're having to add more coolant, and your coolant levels rising or your oil levels rising, that's a very big indication of something going on. You shouldn't ignore that. So we talked about this video because this truck came in, towed in. Like I said, it wasn't turning over anymore, and basically what we found is just total destruction. I mean, it looked like it was hydrolocked, a combination of a hydrolock cylinder with a failed EGR plug that was done by another shop. It wasn't done by us. And that failure was, man, check the video out. It's going to be out later this week, so make sure to check that out. We got some good video on that, good shots on how that cylinder failed. If you guys got any questions about your truck, if you have any issues right now that may not be on the subject, type them in the comments. I got live chat on here right now. Getting a lot of what's up Robert, what's up Ashmir, how you guys doing, what's up Dustin, Sean, thanks for joining us, guys. I'm gonna get a PM first and do the overhead. Okay, that sounds good. We can take care of any of those. Anytime you come in and do a PM, we do a free digital inspection. Is basically a DLT inspection, a little bit actually more thorough than a DLT inspection, because what I notice on DLT inspections is that they're not checking drive lines, or at least on the forms, it's not asking you to check drive lines. And at here, we do actually check drive lines because it's pretty dangerous to have a universal joint or a carrier bearing with excessive play. And the way a driver can recognize excessive play is if you feel a vibration, if it goes away after taking off the throttle, or vice versa. If you feel vibration in a drive line, make sure you're getting your drive line checked out. You know, you don't want a loose universal joint or a loose yoke or a wore out carrier bearing causing you issues and failing down the road. So make sure to get that checked out. Edwin, how you doing, brother, out of Los Angeles? Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Edwin, if you got any questions, make sure to hit them, throw them my way. I know you are out there in training. You're doing heavy. I think it was you're gonna be doing. I remember it was natural gas. So hopefully everything's going well. How's the new location coming? TJ, I'm going to tell you something about the new location. I'm very excited about it, but at the same time, it is a little bit of a process. When I say that is there's a lot of third-party people involved when it comes to permitting and getting everything organized for the construction. So I do have a GC, which is I'm very thankful for, where I don't have to take on all the different subcontracts are going on, but it's moving along. As you know, we've been going through this COVID-19, so it has been affecting a little bit of just getting the finalization done. But what we're looking at is hopefully in a couple of weeks we're going to start construction, which is they're going to be clearing out that field and starting to tie in the utilities, guys. The utilities is pretty interesting how Dallas has how the regulations and everything and how to do everything. They really want you to make sure that you're doing everything correctly, especially when you're tying into utilities is basically wastewater, feed water, storm drain water, any of the water that you're going to be needing going to the building, like especially for fire hydrants and stuff like that. So it's big deal. It's a big deal. The construction, they're going to be cutting into like the street that's already been built. So it's a big deal that the Dallas is really kind of making sure all the T's are crossed and the I's are dots before we start actually cutting through that concrete that's there. But thanks for asking, TJ. Trust me, you're gonna know when we start construction. We're gonna have as much content as possible. We're very excited about the new location. We're very excited to get some video out there of the construction. So if you guys got any if you guys got any ideas besides what we're going to be sharing when construction starts, make sure to leave us in the comments. If you got any questions, if you got something going on, make sure to holler at us. So thanks for that comment, TJ. I'm glad that everybody still kind of remembers we're going to the new location. I wish it was happening faster, but construction like this usually is about 6 to 7 months. So like I mentioned with COVID, with the permitting, it's just kind of delayed stuff a little bit longer, but we're hoping in the next couple of weeks we're going to get started. So thank you out of South Carolina. Thanks for the comment, TJ. Can I come to your shop with a trailer? Yes, sir. Ashmir, we have enough room for truck and trailer. If you have any, of course, we know that those two, you can't, if you're running over the road and you're an owner operator, of course, you can't leave your trailer just anywhere. So we have room for trailers. So if you have any repair that needs to be done on your trailer, so definitely we have room for trailers. Ashmir, thanks for the comment. Edwin, yeah, tanks and locomotives. I remember now, and I remember it was natural gas engines that you were using because they're using the NOx, not the NOx sensors, but the same sensors that they're using on cars to figure out how much fuel they're dosing in there. Got a queue to ask. Okay, over DD15, loss of power on hills, runs good on straight road, but when going uphill, it loses power. No check engine lights, EGR deleted, DEF deleted. Okay. So the first thing I would ask on the Robert is how long, you say it's deleted. If you don't have check engine lights, I would probably change the fuel filters first. Make sure it's not fuel supply. You want to start with the most easiest or the most simplest items, which is fuel filters. Change out your fuel filters first. Retest it. If it's still doing the same thing, then what I would recommend doing is if air and fuel test, or apologize, it's called a integrity fuel test, which you can do with the computer. It's a really cool test that Detroit has set up, where it puts the test, different stages of the test that are going to go through the fuel system, and basically one of them is going to be a leak down test. So if there's a leak, if there's an internal leak going on, and it shows in a leak down test, then that's definitely going to give us an indication it could be a fuel problem. If it's not a fuel problem, then I would look over into boost pressure leaks. If you have any boost leaks, make sure nothing's leaking from your turbo to your intake, any gaskets, any manifold, even exhaust or intake manifold gaskets can cause loss of power. Basically, if you have an exhaust leak, you're losing pressure going to the turbo, which is going to cut down on boost. And if you have an intake leak from either the turbo outlet going into the turbo or into the intake, a leak any in that location, you're going to have boost leaks. It's going to cause loss of power. So make sure to check those items: fuel, intake. Make sure you don't have boost leaks, anything like that. Check all that out. If you don't have anything, if you don't have any issues there after those tests, then I would definitely look into maybe a cylinder balance test. I'm sorry, an idle balance test and a compression test. We did a compression test on a DD13, which is the same test you would do on a DD15 and 16. A video we just released about 2 weeks ago, Robert. So check that out. Those are the tests that I would run. Those are the tests that I would recommend. If a truck came in with those same issues, that's where I would start. It's hard to say exactly what's going on, but that's where I would start. And depending on those results is where you would know. Exactly, Transport. Thanks for the comment. Thanks for sharing. Transport mentioned Robert asked about low power on his DD15. Anytime you have low power on any engines, start with the most simplest items. It's going to be fuel filter. Okay, so start with your fuel filter. Even if you just had it replaced, I had a customer that called me just a few weeks ago, and with the same problem. He was complaining about low power. It was on a Volvo D12. He was complaining about not being able to pull up a hill, and he was like, describing that the trailer is not even that heavy and the hills aren't even that high, or that steep, and they were still losing power. So we were going through the different possible issues, but I told him, just like I mentioned to Robert, start off with the most simplest items. You're going to start with the fuel filters. Start with the fuel filters and retest. We could go back and forth about what else it could be, but honestly, let's do it with fuel filters. And what I mentioned is, when you go to a fuel station, you're fueling up in fuel that's been sitting in the tank for a long time, rising and lowing. It's getting hot, so condensation is going to build in that fuel. Even though OEM's telling you to wait next amount of time on your fuel filters, it's not bad to go, check your fuel filters, make sure you're draining it, make sure you don't have any condensation in it. And if you have any low power issues like this, make sure to replace your fuel filter. So hopefully that helps you with that. Thanks for the question, Robert. I really appreciate your interaction there. It's been a learning experience. I can see, I can imagine, TJ. Yes, sir. Well, TJ, if you deal with any kind of construction, I'm going to tell you, when I first decided to do construction in Dallas, you should have heard the naysayers, man. There were so many people that were telling me that we couldn't do it. Hey, man, you can't do it. You're not going to be able to do it. And it was very interesting because it gets to a point where if there's going to be a lot of people around you sometimes that's going to tell you things that you either you can't do it, or it gets to a point where it almost like, wow, why would they think that? But it was a very difficult process. It was a learning experience. If we didn't do anything incorrectly, but I would definitely know what to expect and the time frame to expect, and just kind of have a better idea of the schedule of what construction can how it happens, and the way it moves through the city. So thanks for the input. Thanks for the feedback on that, TJ. I really appreciate you getting into that. Dustin, I have a 09 ISX Cummins, low base fuel pressure after it gets hot, I believe 40 psi's. Okay, so basically, if it's getting hot and you're running an ISX, that's at 870. So I would definitely check fuel pressure manually to be for sure you're losing pressure. And it's possible that you may be losing pressure internally. Maybe you have an injector problem. I would run a fuel test on that as well. If you can run a balance test or a cutout test, as many tests as possible without physically changing too many parts. If you have low fuel pressure, again, I would start with your fuel filter and retest. Hopefully that helps. If you've done that, please share that with me, and we can see what would be next after that. Transport, I have a new fuel filter and air filter. Okay, Robert, thanks for sharing that. So if you change your fuel filter and you still have low power, as I mentioned, you can check boost leaks. If you have any boost leaks, by checking your clamps, checking all your hoses. There's a good indications that if you have any loose hoses or bad clamps, you can see them by, or even in exhaust leaks or intake leaks. Those are items. So if you check that out and you don't have any of those, let us know and we can move on. You know what? Let me catch up to you, Robert. You got a few questions here. When can I stop by for a recommend? Okay, come on by, Robert, anytime. You know, we're open Monday through Friday. I'll be more than happy to help you. We can run the test. I can just go over the symptoms. I have the same problem when I'm empty. I have a drop gears when empty. Okay, shakes between. Okay, so what I would do is I would run a compression test, idle balance test, and a fuel, not an air and fuel, but I'm sorry, integrity fuel test. So I would run those 3 tests and see what kind of results I'm going to get with that, and that's going to give me the condition of the engine. I know you said you had an elimination there. So how long has that been? And I'm curious to know about that. Bring it in. You know, if you're in the area, we'll be more than happy to help. I'd like to find that issue out for you. Those type of things right there really interest our shop. We really are excited about finding why engines lose power. We like to go through our steps, and we see it a lot. So if you want us to help you out, come on. I know we're recommending the easy stuff. But if there's items that you can't get to, or we can show you what we do here, and also the computer test as well is going to be very helpful, especially helpful kind of isolate the problems. I can't wait to your new location. Me either, Edwin, man. You know what? We're going to set it up in a way where we're going to be shooting, and the way that we're going to be able to shoot is going to be more streamlined. We're going to be able to share more content, like the wheel seal requestments that we're getting. So we're very excited about it too. A lot of work ahead of us. So let's hit the like button. Yeah, MU, hey, hit the like button. I appreciate you guys. I know I got some viewers now, so if you guys are watching, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to us, make sure to subscribe to us yet. If any of this information has helped you out and you want to help support the channel, you can hit us up on Cash App. It's $TAT Express. You can get the Cash App through your app store. It's a very secure site. We got merch coming out, guys, so be patient. We're trying to find a good supplier right now with the COVID and the pandemic that's going on. It's very tough to find a very solid distributor that's not going to be holding up the shirts too long. So let's move it right along. Thanks for the suggestion. Yes, sir. I have an issue with my steering wheel. From 20 to 55 starts shaking, but after 50, that's either sounds like a balance. If the wheel are balanced, Sean, thank you for the question. I see that a lot. What I notice is, and I went over this in the video that we just shot today about DLT inspections and tire wear. Looking at your tire and you're inspecting your tire and making sure that the dirt is evenly on the tire. You can kind of see how your tire is wearing. It's just another way to help you see how your tire is wearing. And if you see that your tire is not wearing evenly, which is the tread evenly all the way across, all the way around the tire, then you know that that's an indication you have something going on your front end. I'm hoping to release that video later this week, which is kind of where it does explain what to look for, which suspension components moving, if you're having any kind of issue with your front end. That sounds like to me you either have a wore out tire due to suspension wear. So I would get that front end checked out and get those tires looked at. If you have had all that serviced, if you had your front end serviced already, you already had it checked out, you got brand new tires in the front, they're still shaking in the front, then make sure they've been balanced and the kingpins and everything's been checked out. And also there are some balancers out there that you can use. I would like to mention one of them, but since they're not sponsoring us, I don't really want to advertise them too much, but they are called Sensormatics. Try those out. First check all that other stuff out. If you have tire wear, definitely get that fixed first. Get that front end worked on. When can you stop by your shop? Robert, I went over that. I remember that. Sorry, I'm kind of lost my spot here. So come by, Robert. I'll be more than happy to help you. Paul. Hey, Adam. This is Paul from Cali. I'm looking for a 2016 Cascadia with the DD15. 500K miles. It's a Penske truck with maintenance records. It's been sitting since 2019. Any issues I can check out? Okay, those maintenance records, make sure that they are on point. Make sure that they're on the intervals corrected, and if they have the type of oil that they're using notated. At 500K, they're gonna have to have that one box service. So it's DPF filter. If they did have a DOC, see if they had the DOC cleaned. Valve adjustments need to be done at 500K. Filter for the DEF delivery system needs to be checked. Make sure, what I would do is go online, Detroit DD15 2016 maintenance. You're going to be able to see what type of intervals that was requested for that engine, and kind of match them with with Penske's records. Also, I would get it checked by an outside shop. Make sure an outside shop is hooking up a computer and checking it out for you. Resellers are really good. They put a lot of time into hiding problems, mostly with paint, and also erasing active codes or history. So some indications, some shops, you're able to still find like after treatment faults, or if they didn't clear out codes, you're going to see a history of after treatment. So we can also run regens to make sure that the after treatment system is healthy. I'm not a big fan of fleet trucks. I do always recommend you get maintenance records. So if you do have maintenance record on that, that's good. Just make sure it's in line. Okay. I see a couple of oil leaks. The sales guy said they would make the repairs. Dlt Inspection with great. Okay, yeah. So Paul, just be careful with sales guys. A lot of those guys have never driven a truck before, so check that out. ISX, what's best for a comment or for a? Let me see. Transport took a message off. Okay. What's the best oil for ISX? Look up the manual online. You can look it up online for your particular. If it's an ISX 15 newer model, check your year. Look that up. That's going to give you the exact oil weight. DD15 also water separators doesn't fill up halfway, like always does after oil change filter was replaced. Oil filter change. Seems like oil. I drive your truck, but it's shut down. Okay, Ashmir. Let me go back to your first. I can see your shop, your trailer. What kind of issue are you having? I'm trying to catch up to your question here. DD15 also water separator doesn't fill up halfway like it does on the oil change after. Not all the time that oil that water separator is gonna fill up, but I would still check that, change it out, make sure that it's looking good, it's not looking dirty. I would still check that out. It's not always gonna rise like it's supposed to. It could be seal issues. Once you have some dirt built up around the filter housing, make sure that that's clean. If you have leaking fuel lines, that could possibly cause that to throw that. If you just noticed that recently, get your fuel lines or check your fuel lines out. Make sure you don't have any kind of diesel. Guys, we've been shooting all day. We got some good videos coming out. Dlt Inspection. Why not to ignore coolant leaks, especially internal coolant leaks? We just show some major destruction. We got some photos up on our Facebook page of a couple of photos up of the destruction that we shot. Guys, I'm gonna keep on trying to catch up to these questions. I'm a little tired. We've been shooting all day, but thanks for all the questions. Thanks for all the questions, guys. What's the difference between an American D12, D13 Volvo and an engine in the European Volvo D12? Okay, good one. Probably it's going to be emissions. If their emissions are going to be the same standards, then they're pretty much are going to be the same. If not, then if they do have different EPA standards, then it's basically the same engine. The platform is the same. The platform is the same engine. What's going to make the difference between that is going to be the EPA standards or whatever standards they have for emissions. And a lot of times, since Volvo is kind of like originated out of Europe, a lot of the new stuff is getting released first on European trucks. It seems like the European market is kind of like the test market before it comes into the U.S. because I do notice like Cummins SCR systems kind of were being tested in Europe first. Volvo's kind of the same way. They got a stabilizer that they're going to be putting on the gearbox. Well, I feel like I really feel like that's pretty interesting. It's a stabilizer that they're putting on the top of the gearbox that's supposed to take away, I think, at least 20-30% of the play in the steering wheel. If you are truck drivers, which a lot of you guys are, I know you kind of get tired of the steering wheel, the play of the steering wheel. So the Volvo has designed an instrument that goes on top of the gearbox, and it's supposed to take all that away. So that's pretty interesting. So those are the items I would look for on European trucks compared to American trucks. I bought it already with all the stuff deleted, but since I bought it, it has had same problem. Okay, Robert, I would suggest you bring it in. Let me do a compression test on it. Make sure it's got good compression. If it's got good compression, then it's either going to be a fuel issue or a boost pressure issue. So bring it by. I'll be more than happy to help. Let me get those items checked out first, and then we can move forward. What fuel filter and oil filter brand do you recommend for a Cummins ISX? Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Yes, sir. I'm grateful for the information you share. TJ, I appreciate the comment. For ISX Cummins, they are mostly Fleetguard. They recommend Fleetguard. They are different styles or different qualities of the filter or different stages of the filter. You can get premium of Fleetguard. So what I would do is check online with your Cummins ISX, whether it's a 12 or 15. Get it checked out online and check out the filter, the microns, what they're asking, and Fleetguard is very working really close with Cummins. So you can even go to Fleetguard's website and put your engine in there, and they're going to show you what fuel filters and oil filters to check out. So check out Fleetguard TJ online. 22 watching, only 4 likes. Come on, boy. Hey, MU, thanks for that comment. Guys, you got 20 guys, 20 people watching. Appreciate the likes. If you guys can shoot us a like, I'd appreciate that. We got some good content coming out. I hope you liked the video we just released on the ISX 15. That video is really moving. We're really proud of that video. The images are really nice, so we were able to work with a designer, and we were really excited about that. Okay, I have a 2015 ISX 15 Kenworth International coolant leak. Coolant in the fuel, what do you recommend? Coolant in the fuel, cross-contamination is going to be injector sleeves. If you're seeing any of this kind of, I've talked about this before. If you check out, I didn't say that was a common issue on the ISX 15 video that we released, but that is going to be indication of injector sleeves. So what we would have to do on that particular case to verify that's the problem is we'll have to pull the rockers, pull the injectors, pressure test the cooling system, and look at the injector sleeves and see if they're leaking. So that's a way that we would have to verify if it is the injector sleeves. We would basically make sure it's nothing else. But honestly, on the ISX 15, the only area where coolant and fuel could mix is going to be on the injector sleeves. It doesn't have a fuel cooler. Dustin, thanks, man. I'll be at the shop tomorrow. Update on you finding next stream. Okay, I appreciate that, Dustin. All right, I appreciate you coming by. We're going to be here. We'll be ready. Let's share this Facebook page. Yeah, if you got any, like I mentioned, we got a video coming out, 60 series Detroit. If you got any coolant leaks, make sure to check out that video. TJ, Fleetguard, there we go. Check it out. Fleetguard actually has it online as well, so check that out. Edwin, what's the scanner heavy duty you recommend? Edwin, I mentioned this before. I would go with manufacturer software only manufacturer software. I don't do in-house oil analysis. I have to send it out. So that would be your best bet, is doing an oil analysis, being able to send it out. There are a lot of companies that are trying to do it, like Speedco. Their test machine gets really messy. So sending it out to actual labs is going to be your best bet. Self the trucker. If you have a concern about oil level rising, then definitely get an oil analysis done. Sooner than later, if it seems like it's a rapid, like if you see coolant leak or you have to add coolant and you're seeing your oil level rising, definitely stop running the truck, man. You can cause some major problems. Check out the video that we're going to release later this week, and I'll show you. There's big destruction. It was giving me bad fuel mileage, 5.9, loaded or empty, cruise control. When not using cruise control, average. Okay, when not using cruise control, it average. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you something about cruise control, Robert. When it comes to fuel mileage, I know a lot of, if you're running DD15s that aren't automatic systems, and I haven't tried these with the newer automatic systems, but they have map downloads into the transmission, so they're supposed to be able to anticipate elevations in the road and declines in the road. But when you run a cruise control and it's not on an automatic, what it's happened is when you're going up a hill or if you're going up an incline and you're set to cruise control, it's not going to baby that throttle like you would do it manually. It's basically going to raise up the RPMs, to get your speed up exactly where you want it. So you really are burning more fuel using cruise control going uphill in a hilly area. You would probably be best using a manual throttle, because you would be able to push that throttle slowly up that hill and come down that hill. So you would be able to control that throttle a lot more. That's why Detroit has designed an automatic system that has the actual maps of the United States maps actually downloaded into the transmission. It's supposed to help with that type of those types of inclines and declines. How do you do oil sample? Oil samples are actually sent to a lab. CTI, thanks for that question. Oil samples are actually sent to a lab, and they will basically check for metals. They check for any kind of fluids, any cross-contamination. My Facebook page, Edwin, is going to be TAT Express. Check us out. Look out for our logo. I appreciate all your guys' support. We're going to be having some merch coming out, so I'm really excited about that. No problem, Ashmir. Thanks for your input. If I stop by your shop, how long would it take to get all this test done, or do I have to set an appointment? Robert, come on in, man. I know everybody's on a tight schedule. I can actually, tomorrow is not too packed, so if you want to come in the morning, we can run just a few tests, just enough tests that will, allow us to check out these compression tests, fuel pressure tests. You're probably looking about an hour to do these tests. So if you want to put that aside, we should be able to get a close idea of what's going on. If we need to go further into the truck, like if we find a low compression in one of the cylinders and we need to open up the top, sorry, I got a fly in here. But if we have to open up the top to check, check if the valves are out of adjustments or if there's anything going on up top, then of course the time is gonna go up from there. But come on by, we can just do initial checks if that's all you have time for. But it's better to do it sooner than later. You can cause problems with the engine. If there's damage going on with the engine, you can extend the damage further by keeping it running. I see the viewer that I have from Vietnam. I wish I don't know Vietnamese, but I know he always has me some questions here in Vietnamese, so I appreciate him watching. Ashmir, is there any way to disable the collision preventive radar, because it can? Yeah, you can disable it. I would recommend leaving it if you could leave it. It is a safety precaution. If not, if it's a big headache, then yes, it can be disabled. What brand of truck? Thanks for the question, Randy. What type brand of truck do I like? I like all model trucks. I mentioned this in a few of my videos. I'm a fan of all platforms. I like all trucks. As long as they have a good maintenance history and everything is being taken care of, any truck can be good for you. So I'm a fan of each truck. I like Volvos. I like Peterbilts. I like Kenworths. I'm a fan of all trucks, Cascadias, especially the newer ones. The suspension that they're doing on the new ones are very nice. They ride very smooth. Are you all expensive? Well, for that initial check, if you're looking for an initial check, it's going to be $155. We do have some flat rates. We're really transparent with you guys. If you got a repair, we're not going to get you in the shop and not inform you of what's going on and what it's going to cost. We're very transparent. We're going to let you know what everything's going to cost, what we found. And we do that with every customer. We do our best not to have any surprises. As you know, if something gets approved, in some cases there are going to be some items that need to be replaced, just because we don't want you to have to come back for the same problems. Come check us out. A lot of people use us. A lot of fleets use us. So come on by. We'll be more. We had a customer come by actually just past week. He just had an engine rebuilt, and it was an ISX. And he spent all this money, and he's like, come in. And the thing you're going to get with pricing, I understand he probably paid a decent, a discounted price to get the engine rebuilt. And I know it's not cheap for the parts, getting original parts. And so you want to find cheap labor, and I understand that. But you got to understand, you get what you pay for sometimes. So this customer comes in after a build, and this, listen, I mean, this has happened multiple times coming here. Customers coming from other shops. So this is just recently. This guy just has his engine rebuilt, Cummins ISX. I know he spent a lot of money on the parts. I'm not sure what he spent on the labor, but what we found is he said, "Hey, listen, I took this back to the shop that built it, and they can't figure it out. They don't want to give me the time to look at it." And excuse me. They don't want to give them time to look at it. They can't figure out what's wrong with it. We pull it in, we hook up the computer. Of course, it has some kind of timing fault. So we're like, okay, they didn't time it right. So of course, we look at base timing. Timing's a little off. So we're like, okay, timing's a little off. We're gonna have to adjust that. But what we found is on this particular Cummins has dual overhead cam. One of them is an injector cam. On the lobes, on each injector lobe, they're just so tore up. They were so tore up, and I was talking to my mechanic, and you can see it with the light. If I wish I had the top off of it still, so I can shoot a video on it. But we looked at the injector cam lobes, and they were so tore up and what we found out was they had the injectors rockers tightened down too tight. So when you have them too tight and they're constantly pushing down on this ejector too tight, what it is the clearance between the roller on the rocker and the injector cam is so tight that there's no oil can't even lubricate between that. So it gets hot and it starts eating up the cam. So basically he has to replace his injector cam and all his rocker arms or his injector rocker arms, just because he wanted to save money on a cheap build. So pricing, I'm not going to say we're the most discounted in the area, but our experience is what's going to show you why we have the rates we have. So give us a chance. I'm very transparent with you guys. I'm going to let you know what it costs. I'm going to let you know why we replace it, and our warranties are going to be longer than anyone else's. So keep that in mind. I asked because I live 9 hours away. Robert, come on by. You know what? Initial costs like that, I would say 155 to 165 I would run those tests for you since you're watching online. I think I've seen your comments before, saying you're supporting. I can do that for you if you want to come on in. Let me know. I know you're 9 hours away, but if we can coordinate this correctly, I'll make it worth your time. If we can get you in and I have the guy available and we can schedule it perfectly, we can use that 1 hour of time or 2 hours of time to check that fuel system out, do that compression test, and we can get a better idea of what's going on with that engine. So give us a shout. Let us know. I am near Dallas. We're off of Interstate 20 and 45. We're 20 and 45 cross. That's where we're at currently. We're going to be moving off of Bonneview and 20. Guys, so we can't wait to move. It's going to be very accessible for you guys. This is a little bit, you can either take Downey Ferry or Wintergreen off of 45, but look us up online, Google map us, give us a call. We'd be more than happy to give you the directions here. I'm here. I can definitely take your call. I am near Dallas. What engine is the most reliable to you? Devin, I definitely would recommend something that has a good maintenance program. I've seen Volvos go past 1 million miles. Detroit's go past 1 million miles. Cummins, Packard, Caterpillar. I've seen them all go past 1 million miles with a good maintenance system. So I really like all the engines. We turned to the collision radar off on Cascadia and the cruise control stopped working, so I had to turn the radar back on. Okay, so you had to turn it back on. What's going on with the radar system? You just don't want to use it because is the distance not where you want it and you want the distance to be closer, or is it malfunctioning? Usually I see them get deactivated because they're malfunctioning. Okay, Devin, on the rebuild on the DD15, what do we? If you want to rebuild the whole thing, we can do a good price on it. We actually found a good aftermarket supplier on Detroit parts, and at first I was real iffy about, but a lot of people recommend this. A lot of our machine shops actually recommend this, and they're a company that's been doing it for a really long time, so I can give you a very competitive price. I would like to look at the truck first. If it's just a single liner kit, I could probably save you some money if it's something going on with the liner. If it just needs a valve adjustment, that's something that we could probably do as well. Or if it's something going on with the after treatment system that's causing you to lose power, make sure to have us check it out first. I would rather check it out and then we can kind of go from there, but I can definitely take care of you on that. Driver wanted it off. Okay, yeah, I would imagine that with the cruise control. So if the driver wants it off and you're having issues with, I haven't ran into that particular issue where turning off the radar is not allowing you to use cruise control. Look into the settings to make sure that you have everything enabled and disabled. It's possible that there could be a setting that's not being changed correctly, and that's probably why that's not working for you. I appreciate the support, Robert. I'm glad you like the videos. Come on by. Call me when you're here, Robert. Let me go back to your questions. If you're the one that's losing power, don't push that off too long, Robert. Sooner than later, I'd hate for you to cause more damage on that engine. If time is very important for you, just come on by, schedule an appointment, and we'll just get you in and out the door, man. I know that we are charging for the diagnostics, because it's not only, we're hooking up our computer, we're hooking up we're making sure, we're going to let you know what's going on with the engine. So come on by. Delvin, your knowledge has me wanting to come there for maintenance. I live in Houston. Come on up, Delvin. We got a lot of people that come up through 45. We service customers out of 44. We service fleets out of Houston. First Fleet's out of San Antonio. They have a yard here. We do service for them. We do service for FedEx as well as their fleet. We see a lot of stuff. I train my guys to look very intense on your truck, to do DLT inspections, or basically digital inspections when you come in. It's not stuff that you have to do. We're not forcing you to do these repairs that we find, but we're letting you know what we find. We're letting you know what we look for. When you get a PM done, say for instance, you get a PM done, and I'm not trying to down any technician out there. If you guys are starting out, that's perfect. And you're going to start somewhere. But if you're going to a quick lube place and you're getting a PM by them, in some cases, those guys are not going to be used to looking at suspension errors or suspension malfunctions or something going on with your suspension, brake chamber, wheel seals, anything on the undercarriage that's very recognizable to somebody that usually works on these trucks. So when you come into my location, you're going to be getting an A-Tech, basically an A-Tech or a B-Tech on diesel engines doing your PMs for you. So we're going to be looking over your suspension. We're going to be looking over, of course, your tires, your differentials, your transmission, your driveline, your after treatment systems for any DEF leaks or any exhaust leaks. We know what to look for, and we know what K services that you're going to need. So what I mean by K services, so at 500K, you're going to need a line of services. At 400K, you're going to need a lot of services. So those items are going to be good to follow as well if you want to keep your truck going on the road. So guys, I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all you guys jumping on. How much do I charge to tune up a DD15? DD15 tune up. What do you transport? What are you asking? Are you just wanting to just a valve adjustment? Is that what you're looking for? Usually valve adjustments are going to be anywhere from 400 to 450 on a DD15. So check us out. We can do a valve adjustment for you. If it's over 500K, that's something that needs to be done. If you're losing power, make sure to get the fuel filters changed. That's a good service to follow there. If you're doing a lot of idling for these DD15s, make sure that if you haven't had a force regen checked out, get that done as well, because that's going to happen. We have a lot of experience on what the readings need to be looking like when you're doing a regen. So when we're looking at regens, we're looking at pressure building up on the intake, how the pressure levels are looking. And what we notice is trucks that have been idled or have high idle times will build up a lot of soot on the face of the DLC, which is DLC is basically before the DPF filters. So when that happens, you're going to have NOx faults, NOx low conversion faults. You're going to have issues with the after treatment system not able to regen correctly, or not making a successful regen. And if you go to the wrong shop, that could cost you a lot of money. These guys are going to have you changing out NOx sensors, changing out DEF pumps, changing out DEF lines, just all over the place trying to find a problem. So transport, it's good to get a valve adjustments, but what I recommend to customers, I usually have them come in and I ask them what basically you're having issues with. If you're having loss of power, then let's follow these procedures or these steps to see if we can get rid of this loss of power, because what I don't want to do is spend a big portion of the repair on something that could possibly be something else. So bring it in, let me look at it. If it is a valve adjustment, that's around what you're going to be paying for a valve adjustment. If it's low power, let me check it out, man. We can run some some compression tests. If you guys saw the video that I released last week, compression tests on the DD13, it's the same on the 15 and 16. We're going to be doing more videos for DD15, guys, so I appreciate your support. If any of this information has helped you out, make sure to like our channel. If you guys want to help support the channel, you can hit us up on Cash App, $TAT Express, or you can leave us a review online at Google or Facebook. I'm not asking you to make a story up, but if you guys have learned something, if we helped you out in any way, just share it. It'd be more than happy to get you guys going. Installed the vid and reacted to his comment. Okay, I'm not sure. Yeah, there are some trolls out there. I'll see them out there. But thanks for all the support, guys. Let me see what else. Thanks for all the support, guys. I appreciate all the I'm excited about the new videos that we got coming out. We're going to be getting some parts to you guys online. If you need some parts, if you need some test kits, we're going to be getting that out to you guys, available for you guys. So that's going to be coming out soon. Merch is going to be coming. Dlt Inspection video is going to be coming out. If you haven't checked out that ISX15 video, that video is on fire. It's going. Check it out if you have a DD15. I would like for to hear your feedback on that video. Thanks for all your guys' support. I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream. I know we got a few guys. Let me get a couple questions on. Jonas, yes sir. Good night. Thank you for joining us. Dan, I have a 2020 PACCAR. I don't idle. I have 68K brand new truck. It was never done. Should I worry? You said you don't idle. It was never done. What are you asking, Dan? Did you ask a question earlier? Are you asking if your filter has been cleaned? I do tires. Patchwork. But what are we? If you're saying you haven't done a regen in a shop at 68,000 miles, that's very low. Basically your regens are gonna be done active rolling regens. So if you're going on a highway, you're gonna see your temp light kind of come on for your filter if you're coming off like for a long drive. But if you're doing a lot of short-term driving, you may not do an active regen in my request. But your system is gonna tell you, look at your owner's manual. If you don't have any check engine lights, PACCARs are very good. 2020 is gonna have sensors all over the place, so you're gonna get alerted if you have any issues. If you don't have any alarms going off, you should be good, Dan. You're good, Dan. You're probably doing active regens or rolling regens. Park regens are going to be requested for older systems that have already built up a lot of soot, like around the 400K to 500K mark. Your truck is very new. You're not going to have any issues, and if you do, you're going to start seeing them around 400, 500K, or you're going to get check engine lights. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the feedback. 24 viewers. Appreciate that. We got some good content coming out to you guys. We got the new construction that's coming on in a couple weeks. We got DOT video that I just shot. It was a pretty long video. We're going to show you how to do a DOT inspection. So I'm excited about that because I want to show you what to look for when you're doing a DOT inspection. And we also did a pretty good video on a great video on a 60 series with just destruction of hydrolock. The head was just destroyed, guys. It's good content. I'm excited to send it out to you guys. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week. We may do a live during the week. I'll give you guys a heads up. Guys, until next time, be safe and make sure if you got any questions or concerns, reach out to us. I'm more than happy to help you. If we miss your call, just leave us a message. You can email us at info@tatexpressinc.com. Or you can call us at 972-225-3017. Guys, thanks for watching, guys.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down. catch me howling at the moon. Won't stop fighting to the very end. Many men try to reach it, many men have failed. Well, if you wanna get to heaven, you gotta raise a little hell. And I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down. Will you find me? Hope you find me.